So a person from the Neo-CC steps away from what they normally talk about to talk about Pokemon and fails every which way you cut it.
Political commentator decides to step away from doing what they normally do to talk about Pokemon. And fail every which way you cut it.
OMG, that's the thing I said, Lamo. It's like we're the same person or something.
Well, let's find out, shall we?
Just a robot. You know what? I'm tired of doing videos on reactors and social justice warriors all the time. I want to take a break. Maybe I'll do a commentary on something that won't make me angry. Hey, what's this? 11 Pokemon that could destroy the world? Well, that doesn't sound so bad.
Okay, this is going to seriously bother me if I don't bring this up here. I get it, you're trying to be a robot, that's your character, but the way you speak is grating. It's as if you're a child trying to sound incredibly cool, but you wind up sounding more edgy than anything. It makes me want to play dodgeball in traffic.
It's always great when someone opens a video with the ad hominem attack. Now I don't have a problem with ad hominem attacks, but here's the thing, Doodletones does. In her video on Pika-chan Gamer, she complains about him doing the same thing, yet she's doing the same thing to Jar. You're such a hypocrite. Also, I love how she complains about Jar being edgy, yet 3 seconds later she turns around and talks about wanting to play dodgeball in traffic. I mean, can you even hear what you are saying?
Today I'm bringing you guys 11 Pokemon that could destroy the world. For further clarification, I'm talking about the actual destruction of the Earth, not humanity. And by Earth, I mean our Earth, not the Pokemon world.
Keep that in mind for later on because that's going to be important.
Well, the Pokemon world is based off our own world, but I get what you're talking about.
Do you? Because I can tell you I'm unsure if you get it, as you'll prove later in this video. While, yes, the world of Pokemon is loosely based on our Earth, the logic and sciences between our Earth and the Pokemon Earth is not the most similar. I mean, hell, Pokemon trainers can be around Macargos, which are approximately 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly hotter than the sun. I know you do bring this up later, but we're bringing it up now, for a lot of this list will be—
But maybe Macargo just does not want to burn her. In the anime, Ash tries to ride Ponyta but gets burned. But later in the episode, Ash gains Ponyta's trust. So when he tries to ride her again, he does not get burned. So it seems the fire Pokemon can prevent their flames from hurting people.
Using Pokedex entries because that's where the original post was kind of going off of, and that much is obvious, as you'll see later.
I didn't want to end with this one.
Electrobe? Really?
Nor did I want to lead with it, or put it in the middle. I know this isn't a top 10, but you always have to save the best for last, and I wasn't sure if this one was the best, or the worst.
It's the worst, dude.
You, gonna explain why there, friend? I mean, saying that Electrode is just the worst Pokemon to choose for this list without explanation is rather unfortunate. I mean, you must know something I don't. Inform me, because as far as I'm concerned, Electrode isn't even the worst electric-type Pokemon for this list.
When Jar says the worst, he does not mean the worst Pokemon ever, he means the worst Pokemon on the list.
This is probably fine in the Pokemon world since we've seen them explode many times without causing too much damage, but that wouldn't be the same in our world. You see, Electrodes store their energy under very high pressure, so when they explode, you can be sure they will cause great damage. This probably isn't reflected in the anime because it's a kid's show. Electrode are also very attracted to electricity, and the problem is, only a small shock is enough to set them off. Actually, its Pokedex entry in Omega Ruby states that during thunderstorms, you can see Electrode exploding everywhere. Which brings me to my next point. One Electrode alone would not be enough to destroy the world, but if all the Electrodes started blowing up, they definitely could.
He doesn't say that about any other Pokemon on the list.
If every Electrobe's explosion was the size of a few megatons, then yeah, they could possibly destroy the world, but Electrobe explosions are the size of grenade explosions. If every single grenade on Earth blew up, yeah, it would cause quite a lot of damage, but nowhere near enough to destroy the world.
Evidence, please? I mean, the burden of proof is on you. I can't find shit all that claims Electrode's explosions are the size of grenades. In fact, what I can find is that Electrode's explosions are rather—
If you have ever seen an Electrode explode in the anime, you can see that it is the same size as a grenade.
We've seen the Pokemon world endure a lot of things, but one thing that almost destroyed it was the battle between this monster and its nemesis, Kyogre. I personally think that Groudon could destroy our world by merely being on it for a full day, if not less. This Pokemon is pretty much land itself, and what do we live on? Land. Volcanoes would erupt everywhere, earthquakes would be unmeasurable, and continents would break apart. You wanna know the scarier thing though? Groudon doesn't even have to go primal for any of it.
Well, if Groudon didn't destroy the Pokemon world, then what makes you think he can destroy our world?
Again, logic works differently in the Pokemon world. May I bring up the fact that Macargo can be hugged?
Hey, remember what I said before. Now imagine I said it again.
Hell, let's bring up a real-world example. Explode a Porygon in the Pokemon world and only the Porygon dies. Whereas in our world, 600 children will be hospitalized. Cereal?
That's not true. Porygon was not the cause of the flashing lights, he just happened to be in the episode.
As soon as he even starts to erupt volcanoes, America would just nuke him.
I mean, I could bring up the fact that Groudon is practically the god of land, bring up several hypotheticals that put you in an awkward position, or I could just take the easy way out and point to its Pokemon Emerald Pokédex entry where it says it just awakening this thing causes volcanoes to erupt. America wouldn't have time to just nuke Groudon.
If monster movies are anything to go by, America would be all like kill him. Kill him at all cost, hit him with everything we have got. Wait, repeat that last part.
The repercussions of killing a god that created the land we stand on is...
That has to be the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my entire artificial life. Groudon created the land in the Pokemon world, not in our world. Do you even know what you are talking about anymore?
to kill a god of the land.
This scenario would be similar to the one with Groudon, except oceans would overflow, thunderstorms would cause massive damage, and tsunamis would destroy everything. Kyogre doesn't need to go primal for any of it either.
Now, I could use the same argument I used for Groudon, but I'm going to do something else this time. Earlier in the video, you said this.
I'm talking about the actual destruction of the Earth, not humanity.
Now, if the Earth was flooded, it wouldn't be destroyed. It would just be, well, covered in water. What even is your definition of being destroyed? This is my definition of being destroyed.
Large amounts of flooding can't destroy the earth until it does. Storms can't cause damage until they do. Tsunamis can't do damage until they do. You know, it's just water. What harm can it possibly do? Until it does harm. But more to the point, water causes...
What sense when Jar say that IT couldn't do damage? He just said IT couldn't destroy the world.
not only issues to civilization. If you want to take out civilization issues, then it can cause issues with erosion too. It can also kill all the plant life out on Earth if Kyogre fucking comes in with a flood. That wouldn't be out of place in the Pokemon Old Testament. And sure, while he breaks the rules of his own list, I'm not faulting you there. However, what I can fault you for is if you're only including natural issues.
Okay, I take that back. This is the most retarded thing I have ever heard in my life. The entire Earth being flooded is not a natural issue. Stay of the weed.
Then it's only fair to take out unnatural solutions, like, nuke Groudon. And sure, while destroying the world in that case isn't Death Star blowing up Yavin's size, or whatever that fucking planet is, I don't know Star Wars all that well.
No, don't. The nerds will destroy you.
It doesn't change the fact that Kyogre can do a lot of damage to the Earth as it is. Try again.
Try again.
On that note, math isn't my strong suit, so I'll be skipping the Mega Blastoise segment.
I take that back again. This is the most retarded thing I have heard in my life. It doesn't matter if math is your strong suit or not. What he is saying is so blatantly wrong. The said if Blastos's cannons increased by 50 could destroy the entire world. That's like say 1 plus 2 exalts 34,956,432,987,459,560. This is a pet peeve I have with the NeoCC. Why do they have to announce every time they skip a part? Can't they just cut to the part they want to talk about? Here, I'll do it for you.
Arceus. Do I even have to explain this one? According to Sinnoh legend, this godly Pokemon created Sinnoh and possibly the entire Pokemon universe. And if that legend is true, it can most definitely destroy our tiny world, along with our entire universe.
I do agree with this point, but I have a small question. Do you think if the universe was 50% smaller, it would be the size of a galaxy? Just asking.
Well, I'm glad you actually have some logic, and you can't really argue with a god that has shown himself to the world. However, what is with that random question at the end? Does it have anything to do with Carlos Manga or whatever had to
I
say?
completely agree. Jar did that for no reason to say that. Oh, wait, he did. The reason is in a clip that you conveniently edit out. Now, Doodletones, I am trying really hard to be reasonable in this video. For someone that constantly says things like taking things out of context or calling other people scummy, you just blatantly edited something to change what Jor said. Honestly. Go fuck yourself.
Do you know how hot the surface of the sun is? 9,940 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's over 9,000!
But that's still not as hot as Marcargo's body temperature, which is almost double at 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is obviously not a problem in the Pokemon world for whatever reason, but that wouldn't work here. Marcargo could destroy our world just by being close to it, and that probably makes it one of the most dangerous Pokemon on this list.
Now granted, that would cause a lot of damage, but nuclear explosions are far hotter and way bigger than a few 100,000 Macargos.
This does not prove Mango Man wrong, though. All you really do is imply nukes don't do damage to the Earth on their own. You don't prove the point. Macargo would practically hurt the Earth, seeing as it's approximately 2 times hotter than the Sun, if my grade school.
The Doodletones is a retard counter is at 4 now.
The Regigigas towed continents with ropes. And you know how people are. If they saw a Regigigas walking around, their first thought would be to attack it.
Excuse me, Mr. Pokemon List Guy, what are you on?
Scenario of how our world could end. But the entire planet freezing? Yeah, I don't think we've covered that yet. Out of all the Ice-type legendary Pokemon, Kyurem is probably the only one that can accomplish that. During Black 2 and White 2, Team Plasma froze Opelucid City with the help of Kyurem and some technology. But that's the Pokemon world. If we've learned anything during all of this, is that the Pokemon world is a lot more resistant than ours. So I have no doubt in my mind that Kyurem could freeze our entire planet and end life as we know it.
The only thing we learned so far is that you're an idiot.
That's the only thing I have learned as well.
Even if your argument about the Pokemon world being more resistant than our world was correct, it would have to be a few million times more resistant. Here's the landmass of New York City, and this is the landmass of the entire Earth. You may have noticed that the landmass of the entire Earth is a bit more than 50% bigger than New York City. No, I'm not going to let that go.
So, the Pokemon world isn't more resistant than a human world. Huh, there's a specific Pokemon.
Was that poor wording on Jar's part? Yes, absolutely, but Jor never said that is wasn't. You can't just say that's something that would destroy a city in one world. Would destroy a planet in another. Okay, final thoughts time, Doodletones. I know I may come across as an asshole to you, but I genuinely want to see you improve. You have a lot potential to get better. You don't seem like a terrible person. Oh, wait, well, forget that. It seems this dark path just gets deeper. Oh, and by the way, Doodletones, this is just the beginning.